Welcome to Sheikh Hamdan's official channel, where every verse carries a heartbeat, and every poem whispers truths left unspoken. Today's video is not just a message, it is a moment of raw emotion, a call echoing through silence. If you ever love me, don't skip this video. These words are not a plea, they are a confession, the beginning of a storm wrapped in softness, where Fazza opens his heart once again to the one soul who once felt like home. This is more than poetry. It is more than royal glamour or whispered palace secrets. This is Fazza's voice cracking slightly beneath the weight of what he cannot say face to face. His words have always been his refuge, but today, they are his last bridge. Somewhere, someone still holds the key to his peace, and this video is for her. You, who once walked into my heart without knocking. You, who left but never truly left. If you ever love me, don't look away now. The poem begins gently, as always, like the desert breeze before the sandstorm. He recites with closed eyes, I wrote your name on my soul, and now every breath I take carries your shadow. The room is silent, the air still. He is not performing. He is remembering. Remembering every smile she gave him without asking for anything in return. Remembering the silence that came after she walked away, not because she stopped loving him, but because fate pulled her away from where she wanted to stay. There is pain in every line, but not bitterness. That is what makes Sheikh Hamdan's poetry so unique. It never curses love, even when it breaks him. Instead, he honors it. He bows before it. Because once, in his quiet world of responsibilities and rules, she brought chaos that felt like freedom. And now, that freedom is gone, and all he has are memories wrapped in verses only she can truly understand. If you ever love me, remember the sky we watched together. The scene shifts to old footage, possibly from his private archives, of him riding through the desert under a star-streaked night. The camera pans to an empty space beside him, a space that used to be hers. You don't need to see her to feel her presence. She is in the wind, in the stars, in the way he looks at nothing with eyes full of everything. This is not a performance. This is heartbreak turned into art. In the background, a soft instrumental plays, one that echoes the rhythm of footsteps fading down palace corridors. You never said goodbye, he whispers. But I heard it in your silence. It's a line that wraps around the soul like a warm ache. He's not asking for explanations now. He's not begging for return. But he's asking, if she ever truly loved him, to watch. To listen. Because this is the only way he knows how to say the things that are still burning inside him. His fans have always known that his heart is deep, but today they see it wide open. This poem is not just for her, it's for anyone who has ever lost someone while still loving them. He is saying what millions cannot say themselves. I forgave you before you left, he continues, because I knew you were leaving parts of yourself behind with me. And with that, the screen fills with visuals of old letters, hidden poems, and a single rose pressed between two forgotten pages. Somewhere in this world, she might be watching. Somewhere, her fingers may tremble as they pause on the screen. Sheikh Hamdan doesn't ask her to come back. But he wants her to know that love like theirs never vanishes. It lingers. It lives. And it writes itself into places we never expect, into poems, into the eyes of strangers, into the scent of jasmine at midnight. He has found her in 100 places, but never in person again. The video shifts once more. This time, it's him walking along the beach alone. The sun is setting, and the world is bathed in gold. His silhouette is tall, quiet, and strong. But even through the strength, there's a soft ache in the way he stops, looks out to sea, and says, if you ever love me, please, don't skip this. Just let me know you once heard my heart calling your name. The waves answer him, but she does not. And maybe that's the point. This is about sending love out, not dragging it back. The power of the poem is not in asking her to return, but in letting her know she never truly left. The love was real. The wounds were real. And so is the beauty that came from both. That's what makes Sheikh Hamdan not just a poet, but a soul who turns pain into purpose. His fans don't just listen, they feel. They don't just watch, they weep. Because in every line, they see themselves. The poem ends, not with a dramatic close, but with a whisper. A final line that will live in every listener's chest. If you ever love me, Know this? I still carry your echo in every verse I write. The screen fades to black, but the silence it leaves behind is full of emotion. Full of questions. Full of gratitude. He gave the world a window into his most fragile truth, and in doing so, he reminded all of us how powerful, painful, and pure real love can be. So if you are watching this, if your heart has ever known his words, don't skip this moment. Let it sink in. Let it remind you that behind every royal title, behind every smile in the spotlight, there is a man who once loved so deeply, he turned it into poetry. And today, all he asks is this: if you ever loved him, don't skip this. The screen slowly returns from black, revealing Sheikh Hamdan seated on the edge of a sand dune, his gaze lost in the horizon where the sky kisses the desert. His eyes, deep and quiet, hold a world of untold memories. This is not the man the world sees in official photographs. This is not the crown prince on magazine covers. This is Fazza, the poet, the lover, the man who still hopes that somewhere, someone is listening. The wind blows gently through the stillness, like her presence brushing past him one more time. He begins again, not with words, but with breath. And then, as if speaking only to her, he says softly, I gave you all the poems I never shared with the world, and you still left like they were never written. His voice is not angry. It's not even sad. It's full of a kind of sacred acceptance, the kind that comes when love is no longer held in fists, but released like a bird set free. He is not chasing her anymore, but he will always be reaching out in every poem, in every sunset, in every silence. Old photos begin to appear in a soft slideshow, glimpses of desert landscapes, half-written notes, a silhouette of a woman beside a horse, her face turned away from the camera. These are not confirmations, they are memories, and memories do not lie. The audience doesn't need to know her name. They only need to feel the ache she left behind. And in that moment, everyone watching begins to understand, this poem is not about forgetting. It's about remembering without resentment. He closes his eyes and speaks again, if you ever love me, then let this video be the place where we say goodbye in peace. The words land with the weight of finality, yet they are wrapped in beauty. He is no longer pleading for answers. He is no longer begging time to reverse. Instead, he's offering her one last chance to remember. To feel. To know that even though the world moved on, and their paths divided, what they had was real. His fingers brush across a book resting beside him, an old leather-bound journal. As he opens it, a dried flower falls out, and for a moment, he simply stares at it. That flower, maybe a gift, maybe picked in silence during one of their stolen moments, is a symbol of love that was once alive and now only remains in form. He whispers, you never knew how long I kept this, hoping I'd one day give it back to you. And suddenly, every viewer feels the emotion tighten in their chest. The screen shifts once more, now showing Fazza walking alone through a quiet palace corridor, moonlight spilling through the windows. He pauses by a grand doorway and touches it gently, as if it still holds her laughter on the other side. This is where they once spoke of dreams. This is where her voice once danced through the halls like music. And now, it is silent, but never forgotten. Every corner still breathes her name. He returns to the camera and looks directly into the lens for the first time. His gaze is steady, vulnerable, royal, and human all at once. You taught me how to love without expecting return, he says. And I am still learning how to let go with the same grace. This is the Fazza the world rarely sees. The man whose strength lies not only in his sword, his sports, or his title, but in his ability to feel deeply and speak truthfully. Then, almost as if speaking to her soul rather than her memory, he asks, did you ever wonder if I still think of you? And the silence that follows is louder than any answer. Because yes, he still does. Not with bitterness, but with wonder. He thinks of her in poems left unpublished, in horses that gallop without reins, in the smell of rain on the dunes. She is still there, quietly sewn into the fabric of his days. Suddenly, a new verse begins, one we've never heard before. His voice becomes softer, steadier, like he's reciting the final stanza of a long-awaited goodbye. I'll love you in silence now, in the pause between lines, in the breath before every sunrise. And when the world forgets your name, I'll still remember it like the first verse of a prayer. The camera lingers on his face as a single tear escapes down his cheek, a terror not of pain, but of peace. As the music fades and the stars begin to shine brighter above him, he offers his final words, not as a prince, not as a poet, but as a man who once loved fully and without regret. If you ever love me, I don't need you to return. I only need you to know that you were loved in a way most never are. And with that, he stands, places the flower gently back in the book, and walks away into the desert night. The final scene is him disappearing into the dunes under the moonlight, his silhouette shrinking into the horizon. The video ends with a simple message on the screen. If you ever love me, don't skip this. Carry it in your heart, and walk with peace. The silence that follows is full of meaning. The screen may be blank, but every viewer is left filled with emotion, with memory, and with the power of words that come straight from a royal heart that never stopped loving. There are letters, unsent, unspeakable, between them. Hidden beneath drawers, or perhaps tucked into pages of their diaries. These letters are the bridges between two hearts, continents apart, still echoing each other's names in silence. In a world filled with noise and distractions, theirs is a love that speaks through the wind and the stars. The weight of royalty is heavier than a crown. It means sacrificing personal happiness for the peace of a nation. Sheikh Hamdan carries that weight every day. And though he never complains, those who know him closely feel it in his silences, in his thoughtful pauses, in the way he lingers near places that once belonged to their memories.